At 2:47 a.m., when the world was asleep and his heart was breaking, he typed a message meant for his ex-girlfriend, but sent it to a complete stranger. That one mistake, that single wrong digit, would change two in broken souls forever. Sometimes the universe conspires the most unexpected ways. Welcome in back to Unseen Romance, where love stories find their voice in the shadows. If these stories touch your heart, please subscribe, like, and share your thoughts below. His name was Ethan, and at 23 he thought he understood heartbreak. Sarah had been his everything for 3 years, his first love, his best friend, his future. But love, as he learned, doesn't always last forever. The breakup happened on a Tuesday. Not dramatically, not with screaming or tears, but with quiet words that cut deeper than any blade. "I don't feel the same anymore, Ethan. I'm sorry." For 2 weeks, he carried his phone like a weapon against himself, typing messages he'd never send. Apologies, explanations, desperate pleas. All saved in drafts, all unsent. That Tuesday night, loneliness consumed him. He'd been staring at the ceiling for hours, replaying every moment, every kiss, every laugh they'd shared. His fingers found his phone, muscle memory guiding him to Sarah's contact. "I miss the way you laughed at my terrible jokes," he typed. "I miss how you'd steal my hoodies and claim they looked better on you. I miss us. I know I can't change what happened, but I needed you to know that loving you was the best thing I ever did." His thumb hovered over send. In his exhausted state, clouded by grief and 2 a.m. vulnerability, he pressed it. The message delivered. But not to Sarah. It went to Maya, a 22-year-old literature student who'd changed her number just last week. Maya was having her own sleepless night. Finals, week stress, family pressure, and the weight of feeling invisible in a world that seemed to move too fast for her quiet soul. She was curled up with Jane Austen when her phone buzzed. She read Ethan's message 3 times. A stranger's heartbreak, raw and honest, had landed in her lap at 2:47 a.m. Most people would have replied wrong number and moved on. But Maya had always been drawn to broken things, stray cats, wilted flowers, and apparently midnight. "Confessions from strangers." She typed back, "I think you sent this to the wrong number, but..." She sounds like she was lucky to be loved by someone who notices the little things. Ethan's heart stopped when he saw the reply. Mortification washed over him. A stranger had witnessed his most vulnerable moment. He quickly typed, "Oh, God, I'm so sorry. Please just ignore that. I'm clearly losing my mind," but Maya surprised him. "You're not losing your mind. You're just human. And for what it's worth, hoodies do look better on girls." That made him smile for the first time in weeks. "I'm Ethan, by the way. The guy who apparently can't even send a text properly. Maya, the girl who's too curious for her own good." What started as an accident became conversations that stretched until sunrise. Maya would tell him about the books that made her cry, her dreams of becoming a writer, her fear of being ordinary. Ethan shared his love for photography, his complicated relationship with his father, his belief that coffee tasted better in the rain. They created a world where phone screens became windows to each other's souls. No pictures exchanged, no social media stalking, just pure, unfiltered connection. "Do you ever wonder," Maya texted one evening, "if we would have found each other if not for your broken heart?" "Maybe broken hearts are just compasses," Ethan replied, "pointing us toward where we need to be." 3 months of daily messages. 3 months of falling for someone he'd never seen. Ethan had forgotten about Sarah. Maya had become his sunrise and sunset. "I think I'm falling for you," he texted one April evening. "I think I fell a long time ago," she replied. They decided to meet. Saturday afternoon, Central Park, by the fountain. Maya described herself, long brown hair, probably wearing her favorite yellow sundress, carrying a worn copy of Pride and Prejudice. Ethan arrived early, heart hammering against his ribs. He saw her before she saw him, exactly as she'd described, beautiful in the way that takes your breath away slowly, then all at once. But Maya wasn't alone. She was holding hands with someone. A guy who looked at her the way Ethan had only dreamed of looking at her in person. Ethan's world shattered. He watched from behind a tree as Maya checked her phone, then looked around. Hopefully, she was looking for him, but she was with someone else. His phone buzzed. "I'm here by the fountain. Where are you?" His fingers trembled as he typed. "I'm so sorry, Maya. Something came up." "I can't make it. Is everything okay?" came her immediate reply. He turned and walked away, each step feeling like betrayal. That night, he sent the hardest message he'd ever written. "Maya, I need to be honest. This isn't fair to either of us. We're living in a fantasy, and fantasies don't work in the real world. You deserve someone who can give you everything, not someone hiding behind a phone screen." Her reply came hours later. "If you're scared, just say you're scared. Don't make decisions for both of us." But Ethan had already made his choice. He deleted her number, deleted their conversations, deleted the most beautiful, almost love story he'd ever lived. What he didn't know was that the guy with Maya was her brother, visiting from college. What he didn't know was that Maya waited by that fountain for 3 hours, believing he would come. What he didn't know was that sometimes the very thing you run from is exactly what could save you. 6 months passed. Ethan threw himself into work, into photography, into anything that would stop him from thinking about yellow sundresses and messages that made him believe in magic. Maya tried dating other people, but every conversation felt shallow after Ethan's depth. She'd catch herself reaching for her phone, forgetting that the person who understood her sentences before she finished them was gone. It was October, when fate intervened again. Ethan was covering a local poetry reading for the newspaper he'd started working for. The venue was small, intimate, filled with the kind of people who believed words could heal the world. The last poet of the evening took the stage. She had long brown hair and wore a yellow sweater, and when she spoke, Ethan's soul recognized her voice before his mind caught up. "This is called Messages to a Ghost," Maya said into the microphone. "I fell in love with words before. I met you, but you taught me that words could be touch, that sentences could be embraces, that a typo could change everything. You were supposed to text someone else, but you found me instead, and for 93 days I was loved by a ghost. Now I send messages to the void, hoping that somewhere in the digital darkness you might remember that hoodies look better on girls, and broken hearts are just compasses pointing us toward where we need to be." Ethan's hands shook as he recognized their conversations woven into her poetry. After her reading, he waited by the exit, heart pounding. "Maya," she turned, and her eyes widened with recognition and something that looked like hope. "You came," she whispered. "I never left," he replied. "I was just too scared to stay." They talked until the cafe closed and walked through empty streets until sunrise, filling in all the gaps their absence had created, Ethan explained what he'd seen at the park, and Maya laughed through tears as she told him about waiting for 3 hours for a ghost. "I thought you were with someone else," Ethan said. "I was," Maya smiled. "I was with the memory of you. So there are all your answers?" Maya changed her number because of a toxic ex. The person with her was her protective brother Alex. Sarah did try to come back, but it was too late. Both Maya and Ethan were scared of meeting because they feared rejection. The universe really was orchestrating something bigger. Sometimes the wrong number is exactly the right number. Sometimes the things that break us are preparing us for the things that will make us whole. Ethan and Maya's story reminds us that love isn't always loud or obvious. Sometimes it's quiet messages at 2 a.m., sometimes it's waiting by fountains for people who might never come, and sometimes it's brave enough to find its way back home. How many of these questions did you guess correctly? Drop your answers in the comments below. And if this story touched your heart, please subscribe to Unseen Romance for more stories that prove love finds a way. Next week, I'll share the story of two people who fell in love through library book margins, never knowing they were leaving notes for each other until the day they finally met. But here's the twist. One of them was writing those notes for someone completely different. Can you guess why? Until then, remember, every ending is just a new beginning waiting to unfold.